Hello, and welcome back to my final part of my Star Wars Last Jedi trilogy reviews, Revenge of the Skywalker. So, I kind of left the most controversial element of The Last Jedi to last. The portrayal of Luke Skywalker. Now, I'll go out on the limb and say that I actually thought the portrayal of Luke was done really well. I'm not a massive fan of Star Wars. Yeah, it's up there, but I'm a bigger fan of Doctor Who, things like that. So I didn't have really anything emotionally invested in Luke as a character, but still the way he was written, the way he was portrayed, I thought they did that actually really well. They didn't follow the usual standard tropes that you would expect from these type of films, and I think that's partly why people were disappointed. I think people are also disappointed because they thought what he was doing wasn't what Luke would do. But actually, I think it was. You see, what you had here, you had a character who was broken. You had a character that had given up hope. A character that didn't want to be involved anymore. And if you look back to his history, you look back to what he's gone through, you can understand why. You see, what you've got someone who was never really trained to be a Jedi. Okay, you had Yoda to a certain extent, but he wasn't trained to be a Jedi of old. So he's only doing effectively what he thinks is best. And you can see that kind of playing out, possibly in the way he decided to set up a Jedi temple. Maybe he thought that was his destiny. Maybe he thought that was what he was supposed to do. But you see, the thing with Kylo and the thing with Ben Solo, as he was then, and the manipulation from Snoke, it was a moment of weakness for Luke, and that moment of weakness cost him. But granted, if you look at Luke's upbringing, you look at his family lines, you look at the way his journey has gone, he's not perfect. He never was perfect. And I think some people have forgotten that this is someone who has come from a broken home. He's had the revelation about his father, he's had the revelation about his sister, and then he's gone about trying to save his father and save the galaxy. And effectively, he did that, but it was no good. Nothing changed, and everything effectively stayed the same. The Empire was destroyed, the Emperor was destroyed, and it was just replaced with something else. And you can understand why he was a little bit bitter and a little bit disheartened with everything, because despite everything he's done, despite everything he was supposed to do, he was told to do, everything still failed. Now granted, it's probably partly down to himself, especially when it comes to Ben stroke Kylo, but it shows that even the most sort of powerful Jedi is still fallible, is still human. And arguably that was his fault, if any fault at all. He was human, he made a mistake, and it cost him. It cost him his Jedi temple, it cost him his trainees, it cost him his links to his family, and arguably created the monster that was Kylo Ren and reinforced the First Order. So you can see why he doesn't want to get involved at all. I like the way he interacted with Rey. I like the Jedi tickles, Jedi tickles. I thought that was really well done. I like the way he didn't want to interact with the Force at all. He switched himself off from the Force. I like the way he was a little bit like a mixture of old Ben Kenobi and old Yoda in his grumpiness towards Rey, and the fact that he wouldn't get invested in her whatsoever. And when he kind of thought he was going to, he recognised the power she had and backed away from it, because that was the same power he'd seen in Ben Solo. So that was good. It was kind of that continuity was there. I think did he train her? I don't think he did actually train her. I think that's one of the kind of weird things. She went from knowing a little bit about the Force to suddenly moving loads of rocks at the end of the film, when he didn't really do anything with her other than kind of moan at her and shout at her and finally get convinced to do something. I think that was a kind of a letdown. She went from being a novice at the start of the film to being quite powerful without really any training at all. But needless to say, I thought the portrayal of Luke was done really well. I thought he was a broken man, and they played that perfectly. He wasn't going to be some kind of Jedi saviour, although at the end of the film I think he was, and I think it was done in a nice way that wasn't expected for a Star Wars film. I didn't twig at all, even with a blue lightsaber, I didn't twig that was a Force projection. I just assumed that was him. I just thought, oh, he's got a haircut, he's had his beard cut, he's looking quite suave and sophisticated, and he can kick some ass. Didn't see that coming at all with the Force projection, but it worked. The bit where he brushes off his shoulder, it just worked, and it worked really well. And it showed how powerful Luke was when he tapped into the Force, and it wound Kylo up no end. It was brilliant, brilliant. Did they kill him off too easily? Probably did. They've killed off 2 of the 3 main characters now, and we know the third one's not going to be in the next film. So effectively, aside from Chewie and Lando, there's no original characters left now, except for the droids. Lando, if you're watching this, don't get in this film because they're going to kill you off, seriously. Yeah, it was quite a poignant kind of goodbye for Luke, in the sense that he projected what he wished he could be again, one last kind of hurrah, and then disappeared into the Force like Obi-Wan, which was brilliant. Really nicely done, and I would have liked a bit more hurrah to his final kind of battle, but in the context of the character they created, I think it was done in the way that fitted the character they had developed during the film. So to have him project how he wished he would look one final time to allow the others to escape was good enough for me. So, in summary, yeah, I liked it. It was good. I think they developed Star Wars, the universe, really well, dropped in some nice new concepts. I think the 3 new characters for Disney Star Wars The Future have been well developed again. The older characters, the traditional characters, yeah, you can't deny it. They've been pushed to the sidelines, and that's it really. They are getting pushed to the sidelines in favour of this new franchise. It's the right thing to do, people. We can't always look to the past. Sometimes we've got to look to the future. Look to the future. Where they're going to go with this, I don't know. There's so many things left open. Concept of more Force users being out there. What's going to happen to the First Order? What's going to happen to the Rebellion? Are they all going to fit on a minibus? Because I think that's how many people are left. Who knows where they're going to go with it? Who knows if they've even plotted it out? It sounds like they didn't even plot out Snoke. He was created by one director and killed off by another. So I don't know whether Disney have got an overall plan or whether they've just sort of left it to chance. Who knows? All we've got is it 2.5 years? I can't remember. I know they shifted the release date to Christmas, so it might be 2 years to speculate, accumulate, and find out what's going on. So if you didn't like Star Wars, don't fret. Sometimes fandom gets changed for the better. Let's see how these 3 films pan out, and then at least you can sort of say maybe the changes that were made in Last Jedi were for the best overall. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review and you weren't too offended by my opinion. If you like what you see, please check out my other videos and check back soon for more journeys in fandom. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and check out these other cool videos. Until next time, cheerio for now.